I want to go to Doug Collins, the former Georgia Congressman. He sat on the House Judiciary Committee, was in fact its ranking member, also served in the U.S. Air Force Reserve. He's served his country quite nobly. Doug, you're not keen on this whole process and the 30-plus indictments and all that came with it, but it is what it is, and here we are. The president has capitalized on this. I understand he's raised more than $5 million in the last 48 hours from this, but the reality is that he will be an indicted former president. First time it's ever happened. What do you think the residual effect of that could be, especially in light of some of these other cases that are pending?
Well, exactly, Neil. I think the impact of this will actually depend a lot on really what comes. This New York case, I don't think is impactful in the sense that it just is the first. It's the one that's getting the most attention, and it is also, as Andy was just talking about just a second ago, it's also in many ways of what we know that's probably going to come out in this indictment. It is probably one of the weakest cases that have been brought. I mean, we've talked about this a lot, and this is coming from a prosecutor who came in and dropped felonies to misdemeanors, wouldn't even prosecute misdemeanors, and now he's trying to take a misdemeanor that has statute of limitations issue and convert it into a felony. I think what Donald Trump is able to do here is for right now, this is showing what most Americans are feeling like. They look across the spectrum at, say, a Hillary Clinton or a Hunter Biden, or how the feds have taken interest in Trump for the last few years, and they're saying, look, there's two systems of justice. Why are they going after this in light of everything else? So I think that's going to be the upside for Donald Trump. But in reality, Alvin Bragg has now brought these indictments. The grand jury has returned them for him. He now has sort of caught the car. He's going to have to actually prove his case now, and there's no running from it now. Yeah. Alvin Bragg, it's on him at this point.
It's more political in nature, but if you'll indulge me, Doug, I mean, Asa Hutchinson, the former Arkansas governor who formally announced that he's running for president, he's been one of the few candidates, rumored or otherwise, who have said that this is bad news and that Donald Trump, in light of this and other legal developments that are coming up, should just quit the race. What do you think of that?
Look, I think if you like Donald Trump, this has nothing except enhance that likability factor. I mean, he's been fighting against the system. He says it all the time. They're not coming from me. I'm keeping them from you. I mean, this is from a Trump supporter base, which is a 30 to 40% or more base, depending on where you are in the states here. It's just simply solidifying him more. Now, as it goes on with other cases, I mean, we'll have to see if that actually develops. But what they're actually saying here is, I think for folks who don't like Donald Trump, who would like to see an alternative for Donald Trump, they will use this indictment to see, look, he can't win independents. He can't win moderates. This is just going to be a bad thing for the Republican Party, and that would be their lane to get into the primary. If they want to get into the primary system and run that lane, God bless them. Donald Trump's pretty strong right now across those lanes, but it could, is that a lane possibly? We'll see.
Looking at the money that's raised, the money that Donald Trump has raised, $5 million plus, we're told, over the last 48 hours, maybe owing to this, indictment. I'm wondering whether there's a Machiavellian strategy, you think, on the part of Alvin Bragg and Democrats in general, that they want Donald Trump to be the nominee because he's beatable, and this is all part of that. What do you make of that?
Well, I would like to think Alvin Bragg seems to be that smart politically, but I'm not sure he is. But I mean, it does appear that way. I mean, look, the Biden administration, they've played this up for the last 2.5 years, and they talk about the former president. They only speak of him when they're trying to draw a contrast. If they ever need to draw something out, they draw Donald Trump up. And the problem here is for them is they've got nobody but Joe Biden. Their bench is so weak. They've only got Joe Biden, and they're trying to figure out how do we beat the Republicans in the fall. And next year, Donald Trump is presenting a strong case. Donald Trump's presenting very much of a distinction between him and Joe Biden and their two administrations. But it's also the same thing other Republican candidates are going to do. I mean, could it be looking at this saying, hey, we can beat Trump because we think we've already beat him before and we don't want to deal with these others? Maybe so. But I think this is just Alvin Bragg, who made promises he didn't keep.
I'm like, Crew's going to kill me, but I always love when I get a chance to talk to you, Doug. And one was you're a Georgia congressman, or were, and highly regarded in Georgia politics. And it's the Georgia case that's among the investigations that many analysts say could be the most tenuous for Donald Trump. Did he try to influence the recount that was going on in Georgia? I wonder what you make of that is really, whether you agree with the the case and the premise or not, that's the one to watch. That's the oven burner for Donald Trump and the worry for him. What do you think?
Well, it could be. I think, but here's something that really looks like. You know, for everyone who's talking about this being politicized and the left saying, oh, it's not politicized, look at how basically a sieve the last few weeks have been out of this grand jury. And over the past few months of him bringing this back up, the witnesses, the leaks that are coming out, he's going to get indicted. He's going to get, you know, next week we're going to do this. Right. It's just been a concept. Notice what you've not seen out of Atlanta and what you've not seen really out of Washington, except for after the special grand jury was over and the foreman of the case got on TV and a few more did. For the most part, the district attorney in Atlanta has kept it very quiet. I'm not saying that's a good case or a bad case, but it does show what I'm trying to say about the New York case is it seems to be much more done in New York for publicity's sake and for a promise kept that I'm going to get Donald Trump. These other cases, we'll have to see how they develop and what the actual indictments are. But look, all along this, I think all these cases hinge on a lot of things that are going to be very, very hard to prove in court.
Indeed. Thank you, Doug. Always good talking to Doug Collins, the former Georgia Congressman.